let's take a look at our top selections for Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer. Race number 8 at Keeneland on Bluegrass Saturday is the Grade 2 Shakertown Stakes, a full field of salty turf sprinters. Let's take a peek at the group. $500,000 guaranteed. All stakes pick 4 begins with this race, and it is a wide open race. You've got the 2 Imprimis, who is a very good turf sprinter. And on the far outside, Bound for Nowhere, Mike, it just seems each and every year he comes back with a good effort at Keeneland.
He does like this turf course, and he has a lot of talent. So we'll see what he does. We haven't seen this horse in a long time.
Let's throw up the Timeform US pace projector, because with all these fast horses in here, there is potential for a barbecue up front, and the red bar signifies that Timeform US believes it could be true. Fast pace expected. Just Might is quick. Hollis is quick. Ready for Prime Time is quick, and so are 2 or 3 others.
Yeah, I can certainly see a fast pace in this race. More than anything else, Dan, it sort of feels like there are some good horses in here. It feels like trips are going to be very, very important here.
And a horse that really has to work out a trip is the one Smart Remark, who you see last in the early portion, according to Timeform US. This gelding has always been a solid horse, but he hasn't won in a very long time. You have to go back to 2018, and he's only 1 for 17 on turf, listed as a vet scratch at Tampa on March 13th.
I mean, a fast pace would certainly help him, Dan, but he still has to prove he's good enough to beat a field like this.
Imprimis just missed last time out at Tampa Bay Downs, and he scored 2 starts back at Gulfstream. Going back in the DRF news archives, it was interesting that Orsino, after winning the race at Gulfstream, decided to run at Tampa the same day a graded stake at Gulfstream was going on the turf. And Orsino said he bled a little bit without Lasix at Gulfstream, so they ran him with the Lasix on at Tampa. No Lasix here at Keeneland. Does that bother you?
I mean, it doesn't, just because, I don't know how to quantify that stuff, so I don't really want to factor it in too much. Just the fact that they're going to run him here, I'm just going to, think that he's going to be able to handle it without the Lasix. We'll see how it all plays out. I thought he ran fine 2 back without the Lasix at Gulfstream, so I'm just not going to worry about it, Dan. Last time, I guess he was disappointing in that race. I don't know how much I like the position that he wound up in the stretch. To me, it looked like he was idling a little bit in there behind the horse that won the race. Then he had to try to come up the inside. I'm going to give him a little bit of a break for that last one.
Lasix or no Lasix, he's a prime contender, because we know he can run fast races. 6 times triple-digit buyers. The 3 is Chessmaster, who just has gotten good off the claim. Taken for $32,000, 3 starts back, has won 2 in a row, including this race against entry-level allowance rivals at Tampa Bay. Went to the front. Look at these fractions. 21, 42, and 4, and keeps right on going to win. This is a much tougher group, and they're going to be going fast early.
He ran well in this race, but he still looks like a huge price stepping up to face this field. We'll see how it works out.
Hollis, the number 4, is an honest horse, Mike. He's hit the board in his last 6 races. Let's go back to the turf sprint at Pimlico back on October the 1st, the Jim McKay turf sprint. He caught yielding ground here, and he showed good speed, Hollis, to make the front, and he was very game to win. Completed Place is a nice turf sprinter on the Mid-Atlantic surface, but Hollis received a nice ride from Gabriel Saez to win it. Can he do it from off the pace? That's a big question mark with other horses in here. His best races have come when he makes the front.
It is a very big question. We'll see if he's going to be able to do it that way. If he can, you're going to get a price, Dan, on a horse who actually is pretty talented. He's raced on turf pretty sparingly throughout his career, but all of the starts on this surface are good.
The 5-turn Decide did some very nice things for trainer Linda Rice last year as a 3-year-old. I liked his win in the Aqueduct Turf Sprint Championship, going 6 furlongs, pushing that pace under a very confident Jose Lizcano and forging clear. He sold for $725,000 at public auction in January. The New Connections ran him at Tampa Bay. It looked like he was in a good position turning into the stretch. Maybe he needed the race.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that would be the kind view of it, Dan. I also kind of feel like 5 furlongs could be a little short for this horse, but he was off the layoffs. He dueled in there, and he just seemed like he got tired at the end of the race. Maybe he just needed it. Going back to some of his races last year, they would make him a very strong contender in a race like this one. We'll see if he can rebound.
Ready for Prime Time, the number 6, also did some okay things for Linda Rice last year in New York. Stakes placed at Saratoga. Let's watch the subsequent race at Belmont, where he finished third. He was down inside in here, and he sort of one-paced under the wire. A claim was voided for him for 62.5. After the race, he was transferred over to Brad Cox, and I thought he ran pretty well at the fairgrounds. Last time out, he was really pushing the pace early with Just Might, and while he lost the battle and the war, I don't think he needs the lead to win. Maybe they were too aggressive with him.
I agree with you. I feel like this is a horse who is versatile enough that you don't need to ride him that way. The question is he good enough to beat a field like this, Dan? And I struggled more with that question than anything else. The race we just watched, he had a little bit of an excuse there because Sayaf, who's actually pretty good, just absolutely walked on a slow pace that day. So this horse didn't run as poorly as it looks, but man, that lucky coin at Saratoga last summer, to me, that's not a good loss. That pace wasn't that fast. There were no closers there. How did he lose to Battle Station? I don't like that loss.
New barn as well. Looks like this horse was a private purchase since the last race. If the pace heats up, the 7 Kanthaka can make a late bid. Graham Motion hasn't won with this horse, but he's done a great job. He ran him off an extremely long layoff, and he just missed in the Grade 1 Jaipur, making the first run into a hot pace. And you can make an excuse. Folks, I'm interested in what you think of his performance here in the Grade 2 in the Arctic, because he's down inside, and I don't really think he ever gets clear. Let's watch Kanthaka's most recent race. They're not going very fast, and you can see Luis Contreras is kind of looking for a hole up the rail. That didn't materialize, and now he's going to try to split horses, and he's always kind of in behind rivals.
I agree. And he's in behind the horses that went 1-2 around the track, Dan. I think he got a little unlucky here. He's another horse who has to go shorter now. And I'm not sure that, going 5.5 necessarily helps this horse, but he can win this race. And all in all, he might be the best closer in the field.
American Butterfly, the number 8. Well, they're going to take a chance. Mr. Lucas does do that. Listen, his one start on turf doesn't show that he can't handle it, because he just got caught in a wicked pace stool in that American turf at a distance that's way too far for him. He hasn't done much on dirt in his subsequent starts. It's his first turf sprint. We know the American Pharaohs can run on the grass. He's still a big price, and deservedly so.
He's still a big price and working against a pace scenario that may not help him at all. But he is bred for turf, and he's going to be a huge price in here. He's not an untalented horse.
Number 9 is Just Might, Mike, and maybe Just Might have found his confidence with a big win in an off-the-turf race last time out. He'd always been banging on the door in turf sprints and races in Kentucky and New Orleans, but he dominated Extravagant Kid on dirt. Extravagant Kid, of course, won the turf sprint in Dubai a couple weeks ago. Formulator fact, this horse has run well dirt to turf in the past and off the turf to turf races. Barn does well also, 27%, $7 ROI. Just Might has good tactical speed, always seems to be a contender in these spots.
Yeah, I'd be happier, Dan, maybe if he got that confidence boost on turf last time. We've seen him get rained off and run big before. He did that again last time. The other problem for him is, to me anyway, he just feels like a horse who wants to be on the lead. Going back to that Woodford on this turf course last fall, Dan, he got to the lead that day and the pace wasn't fast, and he still couldn't hold on at the end. This pace is supposed to be faster.
Johnny Unleashed is the number 10. This horse beat a couple of next out winners last time when entered for $40,000 at Turfway on the synthetic. The third horse came back to win on synthetic with a 91 buyer. Turf Stakes might be a little bit of a big ask.
He looks like a deserving long shot in this field. We'll see how it plays out.
Let's watch High Crime seasonal debut. This horse has always shown a little bit of ability, always with speed. And in the Gulfstream Park Turf Sprint on February the 13th, he showed off that speed. He got right to the front. He makes the lead, and it takes a very good sprinter and odds-on Leinster to run him down.
I appreciate that he took a step forward in this race, Dan. But all in all, I still feel like he just had all the best of it. And here he got to the lead. Leinster backed off him early to let him have it. He still couldn't hold on at the end. I think he's got to do better than that.
The Critical Way defeated Imprimis in this race, the Turf Dash at Tampa Bay back on February the 24th. This is another very fast horse. The Critical Way made the front. You're going to see Imprimis in the white cap in behind the Critical Way. It looks like he's got a shot at him, but the Critical Way just keeps going. He's very game to win this race. His figs are good.
Yeah, his horse is in very good form right now. I'm not going to discount his chances. He ran well in this race. To hold off Imprimis. That was also the race where Turned Aside sort of took the race to him around the turn, so he had to fight that horse off first. This horse ran well last time. His recent form is solid.
Bound for Nowhere won this race in 2018, just missed the last 2 seasons. Let's watch the 2020 edition of the Shakertown, his last race. We have not seen him since July. He showed good speed in this race, Mike. He set a pressured pace. And the horse that beats him, again, is Leinster, who just had a big campaign. Bound for Nowhere is just always a solid horse. You know he's going to take money, and he's got to work out a trip from the far outside.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be happy to take a short price on him, Dan, but he's a talented horse. I actually felt like he ran well in this race. I did not like his race 2 back when they shipped him to Santa Anita. I thought that was a bad loss, but he rebounded to run well over his favorite turf course last time.
So many different ways to go in the Grade 2 Shakertown. Let's take a look at our top picks in here. We're going to go for a little bit of a price. Mike, the 5 Turned Aside. Again, I think he deserves another chance. He did very good work in New York for Linda, and they paid a lot of money for him.
Yeah, I got to give him one more chance. Then I really feel like this horse was a good horse last year, sprinting on the turf, and if he can take one more step forward, I also like the fact that he doesn't need the lead. Dan, he showed last year several times that he can sit and run.
So we both are going with horses that used to be trained by Linda Rice. Ready for Primetime is going to be a price in here as he makes his first start for low-profile connections. He has shown the ability to sit off the pace like Turned Aside. He has run some figures. He's going to be a good price in here. A bit of a stab for me. 5-2-7-13 for Mike. 6-13-2-9 for me. It's the Grade 2 Shakertown on a sensational Saturday card at Keeneland. Good luck.